I really was amazed because my insulin use just started coming down and down and down. And I'm eating tons of delicious food and all these fruits I haven't eaten literally in years. My insulin use went from 1.8 as a basal rate. Now I'm down to 1 unit an hour or zero point 0.8 an hour. So that's down by half. And then my insulin to carb ratio is down from 1 to 6. Now I'm to 1 to 25. So it's mind blowing. And I promise you, you're going to see a change, but you're also going to see a change in how you feel. I feel so much better. I used to be so tired and my joints hurt and I struggled, and I feel fantastic now. I feel so much better. So the proof's in the pudding for sure. And I just would say, give it a try, at least try it, because there's thousands of us, probably hundreds of thousands of us out there that have had changes in their lives, and we're not going back. Well, when I was 44, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. It wasn't type 2, but that's what I was diagnosed with. And so I was very sedentary. I was working full time as a nurse. And so I just did my work, came home, didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to what I ate, but took it very seriously when I got that diagnosis. And so I started doing what everybody does and started doing the low carb, kind of a keto based diet, and lost 30 pounds and started running. I actually got up to running half marathons, and I've done 22 half marathons and a bunch of other races. So I really got serious. And so at first things looked better. So I think I gave my pancreas a little more time, but inevitably, because I was type 1, it was going to poop out on me. And so when I turned 49, the numbers started getting worse, despite everything that I did. And my primary care doctor, put me on insulin. And by now I'm researching and I'm seeing about latent autoimmune diabetes of adulthood, LADA, which I didn't know, even as a nurse, that I could get type 1 at my age. So I started researching. And once I found out that I probably would need different care, I asked him to send me to an endocrinologist. And so she did the testing that was necessary to determine if I was type 1 when I turned 50. And I was just definitively type 1. So then I had to shift gears, and that was a big hit because I thought I had this under control. And I think, if it had been type 1, I would have done better. But I decided, okay, I need to deal with this. And so with a low carb diet, it just is not working for me. My blood sugars continued to get worse. My insulin use increased. It didn't decrease. I did not feel good. I was tired. I just thought there's got to be a better way. And I'm eating tiny amounts of foods that I don't like. I'm missing all the foods that I love. And I'm thinking there's just got to be a better way. And so I have been dipping my toes into some vegan or vegetarian stuff for a little while. At that point, had the Forks Over Knives app, and we did Meatless Monday. And so then I have a friend that's vegan, and I started looking into that. And then I found, I think just through research, the Mastering Diabetes book. And so I decided in June of this last year of 2020, I had an appointment with my endocrinologist on August 18th. And I said, okay, I'm going to just do this hardcore. I'm going to be a vegan. I'm going to be whole food, plant-based from June 1st till my appointment. And then I'm going to see what the numbers say. And then I'll determine if I'm going to be able to continue this lifestyle. So I followed the book. I ate the green light foods. I did what the Ribery and Cyrus instructed me to do. And I was amazed. I really was amazed because my insulin use just started coming down and down and down. And I'm eating tons of delicious food and all these fruits I haven't eaten literally in years, and oatmeal, and like steel cut oatmeal, but the whole grains. And I was just blown away. And so I went to my doctor, and my insulin use went from 1.8 as a basal rate. Now I'm down to 1 unit an hour or 0.8 an hour. So that's down by half. And then my insulin to carb ratio is down from 1 to 6. Now I'm to 1 to 25. So it's mind blowing. And actually, my doctor herself was very convicted about her diet. She said, I only have 2 patients that are doing this. She said, but both of you are really convicting me that I need to change my diet, because she saw how this lifestyle completely changed everything for the better. So, and I have had high cholesterol since I was in my 20s that I know of. It's familial. My dad has had high cholesterol. My grandmother had high cholesterol. It's just something that we have to deal with. And I just always thought I was going to be on statins forever. I've been on a statin since I was in my young 20s. I've been on a statin. And even with a statin, my cholesterol has always been around 200. My total cholesterol has always been around 200. And no matter what dietary changes, it was always around 200. And I just thought that's where I was going to land. It was over 300 without the statins. And so the doctors, of course, wanted it lower, but I refused to take more statin because of the adverse effects to my liver. I did go up one time and I had an adverse effect. So I didn't want to eat more. I wanted to diet and exercise. I wanted to be healthier and bring up my HDL and bring down my LDL, my triglycerides. My triglycerides used to be around 300. They came down to, I think, 78. And my total cholesterol, this is the mind blower, was 200, and it came down to 130, which is the lowest of my life. And then the next time I gave blood, which was just 3 months later, it was 120 for total cholesterol. And that was just with the Amla green added on. And I still am just mind blown that this is happening. It just is amazing how much that brought that down, because I just thought for the rest of my life I'm going to have high cholesterol. It's just the way it is. It's hereditary. So that was amazing. And I've given Amla Green to my dad now. He's taken it. My brothers are both taking it. I just bought them bottles because I said, I want you to see the results for yourself. And when you see the numbers, you're gonna want to have it, because it really has changed everything for me. The great thing about the Amla Green is that I just drink it in water. My first glass of water a day, I drink about 80 to 100 ounces of water a day. And my first glass of water, I just put a scoop in there. My mom puts it in her tea. So it doesn't have an offensive taste. I know it's a very bitter berry, but the way that it's been processed, I started with Amla with hibiscus, and it was great. And then I just went to the regular Amla Green, and it's fantastic. I don't have a problem drinking it at all. Sometimes I'll throw it in a smoothie or into a acai bowl if I want to, but usually it's just the first glass of the day, the habit of just drinking it in a glass of water, and you can barely even taste it. It's very mild, so that's fantastic. It's so good for you, and it's not a hard thing to do at all. I think July is when I started on the Amla. Yeah. So, and I've given blood twice, and like I said, it was 130 the first time, 120 the second. So crazy. It's unbelievable. Even though I could look at the science, you can read the numbers, and you go, but until you experience, you just can't imagine. Like I still keep finding fruit that I haven't eaten in a while, and I'll be like, oh, I haven't had that in a while, and I'll eat that. I'll be so happy that I'll be having it. I've really seen some amazing changes in my numbers. I've kept track of what I've had going on since I started the Amla Green with the Master Diabetes, and my A1C in March, this is all from March, just from March to August of 2020. So just from March to August, that tiny period of time, my A1C went from 7.1 to 6.4, and it's still going down. So that's exciting. And then my fasting blood sugars, as long as I've had diabetes, have always been in the 200s. They always shot up overnight, and it was always 200 when I woke up. And now it's usually around 88 when I wake up in the morning. I've lost a total of 22 pounds since March of 2020. I had lost 10 pounds, then I've lost 12 more. And my carb to insulin ratio used to be 1 to 6. It's 1 to 25. I still can't believe that number. And my carbs per day, oh my gosh, I used to only eat like 30, the bacon and cheese and all that, and felt so terrible. And now I'm eating probably 300 carbs a day of stuff I am loving to eat, big bowls of yummy stuff. And people have seen like the difference in my energy levels and how I feel and how I look. And so I'm, walking testimonial, but I also just want to help change people's lives. I would say to somebody that was on the fence about this, that give it a try. Just at least try it until your next doctor's appointment. Just do the program to your next doctor's appointment. You don't have to be a fancy cook. You don't have to get out the cookbook and make all kinds of fancy things. There's all kinds of yummy, delicious stuff that you can be eating, fruits and vegetables and grains and things that are really delicious that you probably have been missing, that you can eat, and do that just until your next doctor's appointment. And I promise you're going to see a change, but you're also going to see a change in how you feel. I feel so much better. I used to be so tired and my joints hurt, and I struggled, and I feel fantastic now. I feel so much better. So the proof's in the pudding for sure. And I just would say, give it a try, at least try it. Because there's thousands of us, probably hundreds of thousands of us out there that have had changes in their lives, and we're not going back.